Alright, everybody, it's officially here. Time to rank all these Chucky movies that I have been talking about in the last 7 weeks. I reviewed all 7 movies and then the remake, did a spoiler and non-spoiler review, did a top 10 one-liners with 5 honorable mentions. Go check out that video if you haven't seen it yet. I did a top 10 kills, 3 honorable mentions, and I did ranking the Chucky looks, all 8 looks in the 7 films. Curse of Chucky, I had 2 for it, the Stitch, not Stitch. So check out those videos and then watch this one. And trust me, this is the end, friend, of my franchise reviews. That's right, this is the end. This is the last one, and then we're done talking about Chucky for a while until we get any sequel updates for the remake or Don Mancini's 2020 TV series that he has set to launch next year, early, maybe February-ish. We'll get more news by then. We'll get more news by Christmas, trust me. We'll hear something. But until then, let's talk about this franchise and what we got so far. All 8 films, I am including the remake because I consider it a part of the franchise. Yes, it's a whole new story, but whatever. Fuck off, haters. Just accept it. But what is at the bottom of the barrel? What is the worst child's play in this movie? And quite honestly, I gotta say, it's the original. I mean, this movie is just so boring. Chucky doesn't even speak for like 45 minutes, and Andy's acting is just atrocious. I'm just joking. No, it's See the Chucky. See the Chucky is the worst one by far. I think it probably has the lowest score tomatoes-wise, Rotten Tomatoes. I don't give a shit what they say or think, but hey, I think they agree. Maybe they don't, but I don't give a shit. This movie is terrible. I think it's one of the worst just horror movies ever, really. But it is a total disappointment when you see the end of Bride and then you get that 6 years later. I said in my Seed review, like, it's like how people felt between Halloween 5 and 6, that wait, it's like 6 years, like, okay, where the fuck are they going from there? You know, the endless possibilities, and then you get the next one, and, you know, Curse of Michael Myers, everybody's hit or miss on that one. But see, holy shit, terrible. One of the worst characters ever created, Glenn/Glenda, based off of Ed Wood or something. Some movie in the 50s or 60s and no one's probably ever seen. It's got this whole like gender dysphoria commentary. It's got the social commentary that I just think doesn't belong in a Chucky movie. Go make your own movie. Have that social commentary in it. Fine, whatever. I'm not interested in that topic. I want to see Chucky. I watched this Chucky movie because I want to see Chucky kill. I want to see his son do the same shit because that's kind of what was promised and hinted at the end of the other one. Does the baby not jump up and eat that guy's face? And then you get this shit? What the fuck? Not only that, but the humor in this movie is so, like, meta, and just, it ages poorly. You got Britney Spears thrown in, you got Redman, you got that rapper cliche of the early 2000s, every horror movie doing that dumb shit. Let's throw this rapper here, because people want to see rappers now. Poor comedy. I was not expecting it to suck as badly as it did when I went to revisit it. I was like, I think this movie's funny, at least, right? No, not really. You get some of the worst characters and most pointless characters ever. Like the fucking I love you guy. That guy who's like, I love you. I love you. I love you. And then where's that go? Nowhere. The only thing I liked about this movie was the opening. It felt promising until you found out that it was a dream, but I liked that it kind of it's a dream sequence that I can excuse because it's basically saying, you know, like Glenn, he's having these like, you know, urges of killing people. He's got these like dreams of killing people. He doesn't know where it's coming from. Yes, it's a metaphor, blah, 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 whatever. But I like that opening sequence, the whole POV thing. It's just very kind of like Halloween-esque. The first one with just going up the stairs to kill people. I thought it was pretty cool. And then the rest of the movie is just... I've probably seen one living soul on this planet say that See the Chucky was number 1 on their list. But that's it. Just one person so far. Universally, everybody hates this movie, and I tend to agree. It's pretty bad. This was the first and only Chucky movie I ever saw at theaters until, thank God, the remake came out 15 years later, and I got to say, hey, at least See was never the last movie I saw at theaters in the Chucky franchise, so thank you, Remake, for existing. But let's move on. Let's not talk about that movie no more. What is my number 7? What is next to the shittiest movie in the franchise? Now, all these other ones, they're good to great, alright? That one's just bad, but the other ones that I'm about to say are like, you know, guilty pleasure to good to great. So, what's number 7? Cult of Chucky. This movie, at first, I liked it, just some. I was disappointed, but I also really liked it. I like that the fact this is the goriest of all of them, hands down. It's got all kinds of great gore and carnage, but it just doesn't save the film. Chucky is the most watered down he's ever been. His one-liners are non-existent. His dialogue is terrible. They shoehorn this new voodoo chant just to make things easier for Chucky, and it totally diminishes that journey from before. It makes it seem stupid and dumb. Nika gives a better performance, but overall, I just feel like this movie was trying to cram too much craziness into one. It felt like a few different ideas in one, like let's have an Andy movie where he has to fight Chucky, or no, let's have the psycho like asylum theme thing going on, and they're like, let's just throw it together somehow. And then by the end of the movie, it's like a big ass cliffhanger. You're like, wow, we're probably never gonna get a sequel to this. And then you find out, yep, we're never gonna get a sequel. We're gonna get a TV series, and who knows if that picks up where this shit is. I hope it does. Tiffany is atrocious. Her acting, Jennifer Tilly, terrible. She's throwing one-liners that Chucky said from Bride, like, a true classic never goes out of style. You said that one time when you stabbed a guy 37 times. It is awful. Oh, and then you just got terrible characters. They're a little bit better than Curse, although I find Curse to be a better movie. That's why you haven't heard me list it yet. But I find the characters like Multiple Malcolm to be a little bit more entertaining. But overall, this movie was just a disappointment. The continuity is all out of whack. It's just dumb. Andy's a complete dipshit, and I can't forgive that, so fuck this movie. Still decent fun, but overall a disappointment. So let's move on. Number 6 goes to Curse of Chucky, the ugliest Chucky doll look in this franchise. And you thought the remake was ugly? Go back to this one. It's pretty bad. In fact, I had a guy at work today say that the remake doll looks like Brad Pitt. I'm not sure where he got that, but that's what he told me, sincerely. I don't think he was joking, seriously. So, yeah, let's move on. This doll, ugly. Ugly as fuck, but that's not what's holding it back. The acting, it feels very low budget. This is the first straight to VOD, because if you know who, see the Chucky. And it feels low budget. The acting's poor. The characters suck. I hate the fucking sisters who's like trying to sell the house and kick her poor wheelchair-stricken sister out to some nursing home type facility because she wants to have this love affair with this woman. And it's like, fuck you. It's like, why are we spending so much time on that story? Why is Chucky not speaking for 45 minutes? This is not a remake. This is not a reboot. It is still the same franchise. It is a sequel. Why are we acting like this is the first movie? This movie tries to copy, rinse, and repeat the first one in so many different scenes and instances that it just kind of irks me. And I pointed them all out in my review, so go check it out and I'll explain what was grabbed from the original, like the score, like cues and stuff, but it just feels like it's trying to repeat a better movie, so that kind of irks me. And, you know, Alice, she's nowhere near as adorable as Andy was. Her acting's just as bad, if not worse, than Andy's. But yeah, this movie, disappointment, and I hate the fact that they go back and they ruin the first movie, because now when you watch the first movie, you're like, okay, so getting gunned down by the police after he kidnapped a woman, how did Eddie Caputo get to this situation? Makes no sense. How did Eddie Caputo fit into that story? They don't even try to explain it. I hate that they try to go back and just convolute that story from the first one. It's just dumb. It was not necessary. And then there's CGI Chucky to top it all off. So yeah, that was awful. That terrible decision. The only thing that I kind of liked in this movie was it has a couple of good kills. One very good one-liner from Chucky. I like the whole Stitch reveal. It's like a shock the first time you watch it. Like, is this a remake? Is this a sequel? What's going on? And then you get that reveal. And it's like, oh shit, this is a sequel. But then that's gone the second time you watch. And I do like that whole Hitchcockian, like, mansion that she's living in. I don't know how her and her single mom afford it. Her mom doesn't do shit for a living. She just paints flowers. And I hate that there really wasn't any good chemistry between them that was set up. It was just like, nope, she's dead. And she's crying, and I'm like, I don't feel anything. I didn't really know her. She seemed like a bitch. But whatever. Let's just move on. What is my number 5? We're at 5 already. Now, my number 5 was my number 4 and 4 or 5. I switched them. A couple of days after writing this list down, I was like, nah, I think I like that one a little bit more. So what's my number 5 that used to be 4? My number 5 is Bride of Chucky. Now, this movie, I dig the humor. I dig the look. It's my favorite Stitch-faced look. They got it right. The atmosphere, the jokes, it's all great. But just the ones above it, I have a little bit more nostalgia for. And I think they're just a little bit better. The thing that really holds this film down is Jesse and Jade. If they were written to be a little bit smarter and better and not so annoying, especially Katherine Heigl, and it felt dumb. Like, the fact that he felt like $1,000 was enough to, like, go start a new life. Bullshit. 1,000, that's it? What's that gonna get you? Groceries and car insurance for your minivan, unless it's just not insured. Your wedding and honeymoon, that's all gone. Like, today, weddings cost a few grand, so what the fuck? Like, that 1,000's not gonna do shit for you. So I just thought the whole idea, like, that he was dumb enough to buy the idea that, oh, I just gotta transport these dolls to New Jersey and then I get $1,000. I thought that was just dumb, and I know that's nitpicky as shit. Like, why are you focusing on that? I just do. I focus on that, and I don't understand the whole New Jersey thing. The first 3 movies, or at least 2, were in Chicago. That's where Charles Lee Ray was. That's where he was notorious for all his murders. Like, 22 confirmed, according to Nika. And now he's just being buried in New Jersey? Who the fuck does that? Who's going to take the time and money to transport a notorious murderer to his favorite spot in New Jersey to be buried? Like, that was his will? Who gives a shit? He's a murderer. Cremate him. End of story. And then they add this chant of Damballa thing because they want to eliminate the reason why. They want to eliminate Andy from the story. They're like, okay, well, we need to explain why he doesn't need Andy no more. Oh, because he had a chant thing, amulet, that says that he doesn't need to do anything to, like, he doesn't need the first person he sees or reveals himself to anymore. He can do it to anybody at any time. Like, there is no slowly becoming human shit no more from Bride on. That's gone. It's just, I need the amulet, and that's it. Oh, except for Cult, where you don't need an amulet at all. Or a curse. Just thought about that. Or curse. So you just need an amulet in this one, in Seed, and then Curse and Cult, you just need your hand doing some mind trick thing. Like, give me your soul. It's mine now. But yeah, there are good things to like about this movie. Chucky is probably at his best in this movie when it comes to one-liners and jokes. You know, what would Martha Stewart say? Love that line. The third act is meh, and just bad characters. I didn't like the characters outside of Chucky and Jade. No, outside of Chucky and Tiffany. Jesse and Jade suck. Couple of cool creative kills, but really this movie gives the kills mainly to Tiffany. She's the one that does the 2 big ones, you know, like the nail in the face thing and the waterbed. That's her shit right there. But overall, it's an okay film. Like, this one's good. I gave it like a B. So this one's good. It's just, I have my flaws with it that hold it down below the next 4. Speaking of 4, what is my number 4? Well, my number 4 goes to the remake. Child's Play 2019, get at me. I know I'm not alone on this. I've checked out other people. A lot of people, shockingly enough, are putting this top 3. I've seen a few people put it at 1, 2, and a few YouTubers put it at 4 or 5. And here I am, just like them, 4. I had this at 5. Then a couple of days went by. I thought about it more. I was like, man, that movie was great. I listened to the score on Spotify, and that score is just awesome. I was like, fuck it, it's better than Bride. It's better. I like this movie. It has a lot more beneath the surface. There's a social commentary that you can really chew on. Like, there's a lot more to chew on this movie than Bride, where it's just like, we gotta get from point A to point B. This one has a better story. It does what a remake should do, which is take little elements from that original and either, like, expand or change everything else and do your own thing. And that's what this movie does. And it makes you feel sympathetic towards Chucky. That was so different, and I did not expect that, but I loved it. It hit home for me. I almost wanted to cry when they were tackling him, and I don't remember what his face looked like, but to me, I remember him being kind of like betrayed. Like, he had a look of betrayal. Like, what, Andy, what are you doing? Like, I thought we were friends. So it's just so sad. And I never saw that coming, but the score's great. Yes, the origin's not terrific. It's very quick, but it's the origin story for an AI doll. It's not supposed to be better than the original origin story. You can't compete there. So I accept this origin story. People want to point out plot holes. I'm like, whatever, that could easily be explained away. I thought Aubrey Plaza and Gabriel Bateman were great, and I liked the third act. I felt like there could have been an extra couple minutes in that massacre scene. I felt like some shit was trimmed off, like, alright, let's have kills off screen. But then I did some research, and this movie can't show certain kills from the second Chucky on forward. So I guess strangulations are off the table. Certain stabbings are off the table, decapitations are off the table, nails in your face, waterbeds, can't do that. Which would explain why they had to get so creative with those first 2 kills that you see on screen. They're like, okay, we gotta get creative, because that face that you see on the watermelon, that was supposed to be a decapitated head. But they're like, wait, we're gonna get sued if we do that? Alright, fuck it, take the face off, put it on the watermelon. There, can we get sued now? No? Good. Which is just ridiculous. You're gonna sue a movie because they have a kill similar to yours? How many movies have similar kills? Seriously. But because they share the same name. Whatever. But I really dug this movie. I think Mark Hamill did a good job he did a good voice for the Chucky that he was given. The way the character was written, it fits that character perfectly. It sounds like an innocent child. And I like the whole glowing red eyes. People act like it's too TV-like or it's too stupid. Like, well, I don't know that Chucky's evil at this point. I need red eyes to tell me that. No, it's just like aesthetically, like it's for looks. It looks good. I like it. Yes, Chucky could have been a better looking doll. They could have made him look closer to the original without copying it completely. But hey, what are you gonna do? That could be explained away in the sequel. They could be like, hey, Buddy 2, Buddy 3 looks different. So that could be fixed in the sequel, and I have faith that they'll do that. If not, oh well. We'll be used to it by then, after you watch this movie a couple of times. But yeah, I just love this movie. If you want to see all my actual deep thoughts about this movie, go check out my spoiler review. So, let's move on. Number 3. My number 3 goes to Child's Play 3. This movie has a lot of nostalgia for me, the first 3 films, especially 2 and 3. 2 and 3 are when Chucky's at his prime, he's at his funnest, when he's not Stitchface. But this is the best Chucky to me. This is the best Chucky look. It's the most consistent look throughout compared to part 2. And I like the one-liners. The one-liners are iconic in this film. Don't fuck with the Chuck. Presto, you're dead. His laugh, he laughs a whole bunch. The only real negatives with this movie is Tyler's annoying. He's too dumb for his age. He doesn't look that young. So his ignorance is just kind of not believable. The hairstylist guy didn't have to be so zany, but it's grown on me. So I accept it. I like it now. But yeah, I mean, the heart attack thing, I felt like if they had like Arlie Ermy, that was a missed opportunity right there. Because Arlie Ermy was in like Saving Private Ryan a couple years before this. Man, if they grabbed him and put him in this movie and have him have a heart attack, that scene would be way more iconic. But this one has a badass third act. The whole carnival thing gets over the top. It makes no sense. Why is this big-ass carnival there? Why is the carnival there? Period. In the middle of nowhere. Big-ass ride. Makes no sense, but you love it. You just accept it. It's a fun ride. Chucky's awesome. You got half-faced Chucky. You got Andy at 16 years old for some reason. That's another thing that people don't like, but it's alright. They give him a love interest just to kind of change things up. This movie copies part 2. Fair, I'll admit that, to be fair, but it does change some things to make it different and to give it its own flavor. I actually like the military setting. I like seeing Bandolier Chucky with the bandolier bullets across him, and he's like, "Hi, soldier," flips off Shelton, throws a grenade. I thought it was awesome. And that's why Child's Play 3 is my number 3. People put this at the bottom, or number 7 or 6. I don't understand that. This movie's a lot of fun. If you like 2, how can you not like part 3? Alright. Number 2. What's it gonna be? Is it going to be the original? The one that started it all? The one that Tom Holland directed and really took the script that Don Mancini did and put his own spin on it, added the voodoo thing, really helped make the script a little bit better to make it to where it is today and how we see it and recognize it, because Tom Holland, let's admit it, it's mostly his script. He took the my buddy aspect that Don wrote and changed some things. Or is my number 2 going to be Child's Play 2, the one that takes the leash off of Chucky and just sets him loose and has him go on a killing rampage from the 10-minute mark and just goes balls to the wall crazy to that awesome third act? What's my number 2? My number 2 is the original. Not throwing shade at this film whatsoever. It is a great movie, great puppeteering for its time. Great original story, the whole voodoo thing. You just gotta look past that, accept it. My mom doesn't accept it. My mom was like, I think the remake was better because voodoo is just too unrealistic. Supernatural things can turn some people off and be like, I just can't accept that. That's just weird. It's too much. But I like the voodoo thing. I love this origin story. I love Charles Lee Ray. I love the chemistry between Karen and Andy, the whole mother and son thing that they got going on when she comes home and she doesn't know what the hell's going on. She sees all the police and she frantically runs upstairs and it's like, is her son dead? And she finally sees the son and is like, oh, thank God. Oh, yeah, what about Maggie? It's like, that's exactly what a mother would be doing. They'd be like, where's my son? Oh, yeah, and then where's my friend? Yes, the whole, like, lore that they set up is kind of convenient just to get Andy back to Chucky, but whatever. I love the Chucky look towards the end. It's my number 4, 3 or 4 look. 4. I like that this is the only one where he actually starts to look more and more human as the film goes on. His hair kind of changes color, and his skin starts to look less plastic and more like flesh-like. I love the look of Burnt Chucky. I love that third act. It's crazy. This movie probably builds the most tension out of the whole franchise, so gotta give it props for that. It's a classic that will always be a classic and always will be remembered, and that is why it is my number 2. But number 1 has to go to Child's Play 2. Not everybody, I found that out recently, not everybody agrees with this. Some people put it 3 or 4. I've seen it lower than that. It's crazy. But this is Chucky Unleashed. This is Chucky as best. This is Chucky Prime. This is Chucky fully realized that they didn't know in that first one. They didn't think that they were building a franchise, so they kind of kept Chucky quiet for 45 minutes. And that's what holds it below this one. This is Chucky, just full blast fun. It's that third act, it's crazy. Just, I love that third act. As soon as you get there, you start getting giddy, like, here it comes! They're going to the toys, the factory. This movie has my second favorite Chucky look. It's got some of my favorite lines. My number 1 favorite line is, you know, shut up and drive before I kick your fucking teeth in. Yeah, I hate kids. Got my favorite kill of the entire franchise. The whole eye gouging thing. Very creative, funny. So it's got some very dark humor in this movie. I thought it would be funny if they like put 2 more in his balls, but they didn't go that far. Chucky is probably the creepiest next to part 3 and 4, but I love his look. His look's not consistent. It's like depending on the shot or the angle, the lighting. His face changes a whole lot. His eyes are very bright blue. And I love that Chucky stands up for himself. Not Chucky, Andy. Andy stands up for himself. He's got that electric knife. He goes in the basement. He's fighting back. You got some character growth with Andy. We got this great side character. Not side character. Yeah, Kyle, the great addition to replace the mom that couldn't come back for some reason. And she's a great addition to the franchise. And we might see more of her in this TV series. And I hope that Don Mancini doesn't ruin her character like he ruined Andy in Cult. So let's just hope. But Child's Play 2 is a blast. It's awesome. It's a movie that you can watch over and over and over again. And that is why it is my number 1. And that's why I wore the shirt. I told you from the beginning of this movie review, this ranking, what my number 1 was going to be. But that is my ranking. Put your thoughts and your ranking in the comments below. Let me know. Surprise me. What did you think about the remake? Are you on team Not My Chucky? I am not, but post your thoughts in the comments below. Hit this like button to support this video. Become a subscriber today, and if you're already a subscriber, make another account and then subscribe again. Alright? Do it. You can follow me on social media too if you wish, and you just please, like I said, become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, I'll see you soon.